I know he's going to have an impact in this group stage and hopefully further on in the competition as well.
But on top of that, it's the energy levels. Now, I'm talking to the right man here, because nobody had more energy levels than yourself, playing not only for United but for Scotland as well. But that's a big thing at the end of a season, when some of the teams you're playing may have a wee bit of tiredness. You can't see that with this Scotland group, can you?
Not at all, in their great age as well. You look at the squad, it's a young, they're all in their prime. That's what I would say. And as you say, the energy and the power and the dynamism that we have in there, it works both ways. Stopping the opposition, breaking up the ball, getting to people quickly in that midfield area, that's the strength of ours. But not only that, once we get there, the willingness to run forward, overlap each other, get into the box, into goal scoring opportunities. We talk about Armstrong, McGinn, Christie, these goal scoring midfielders. They're not just getting in there once or twice to get goals. As you know, Pat, you've got to get in there 10, 12 times that people don't see. But as I said, it's the willingness off the ball to harry, harass, go box to box. We've got great energy in the team with added quality. One
of the things I suppose we'll have to have someone sitting in midfield. That's just the way it is with Scotland, and I know with probably three at the back, that's a done deal as well. But who is the one that sits? I mean, McGregor has been the one that's been sitting, the fittest that's been sitting so far. But do you ask Scott McTominay to do that instead?
I think so. I think at Callum, I think Scott brings a bit more defensive qualities. I think it limits him and what his potential, but I think we see that in Manchester United. I think Scott's got goals in him. He's a great striker of the ball around the box, but he has got that tactical discipline and awareness to sit in midfield. He's got a great size and presence, and maybe even matching Souček, who's going to be a threat from them arriving from the box. His goal scoring prowess. Although we've got the three centre backs, Scott might have to be wary of that as well, in that holding midfield position, and stay with them until a certain point a centre back takes over, because you don't want them following them all the way in the box, especially with three centre backs.
It is all about getting a win today, isn't it? We really must win. If you didn't win this one, a draw you could just about put up with, but a loss and you're absolutely up against the 8 ball in this one. So we really do need to go for it, don't we?
We do, because that gives, if we're losing the game, obviously the other thing, but it gives Czech Republic 3 points, and that's before you've got to go to Wembley and then Croatia. So that would be a real difficult and uphill task from there. So I think we've got to go for the win today. I don't think it'll be gung-ho, but there will be a time in the game where I think Steve Clarke might sense it, and I think he'll go for it. And if he senses that we're capable of winning the game, he'll definitely go for it. A draw wouldn't be a disaster, but I don't want to just be happy to be here, Pat, like people have talked about. We have to be here. Listen, it's been a long time, it's great that we're here, but we've got a chance to do something special and go and really have no fear. I think we're solid, we're hard to beat, but really go and have a go today, which would set us up fantastically for the rest of the group.
Well, I'm with you with that. I can't sense any fear at all with this group. Let's hope we do it today.
Definitely.
And Pat, that is definitely what the squad will be feeling, that they're not just happy to be here.
Yeah. To be honest, you don't anyway.
No.
I mean, I go all the way back to my playing in the Euros, and we had the European champions and the world champions in our group. But we weren't happy just to be there. We wanted to have a dig at them. We wanted to have a go at them. I'm not saying it's just a Scottish trait, but it certainly is something. There's no Scotsman who's going to walk in and feel that. And I don't think this group will have any of that fear that we were talking about there. I think we'll go out. Having said that, the confidence might fade a little bit if they don't get the result that we were talking about during that little chat there. But I've got real belief in the bravery of this group. And we mentioned Billy Gilmour in passing there. You stick him out in that field there, and I know Charlie will feel exactly the same. He'll be fine. He'll be absolutely fine out there, because he's got that. I'm going to use it now, Charlie. I'm going to say the word. He's got that gallousness.
Yeah, no, it's just the word I was going to say there. He's we talk about Billy Gilmour as if he's playing for one of the biggest clubs in Europe. Just won the Champions League, been around that environment, that winning mentality, playing with Kante, playing with Kovacic, who just played yesterday for Croatia. So Jorginho, who was magnificent for Italy the other night. So he's playing with top players every day, and this will just be a normal progression for him. He'll understand that. Yeah, there's pressure because he's a young lad and it'll be coming from the inside, but he'll just go and play his own game. It doesn't matter if he's 19, 20 or 30. It's just the opportunity to play for your country, and whatever he does it in this pitch, he'll do his justice. And I'm very, very confident this in a long time that we've got a good squad of players that are hungry and a desire. We've said it before, previous occasions, that some individuals probably never had the hunger and desire to come and play for the national team and what they have, but But this group of players have definitely got that, and that comes with a manager who, like Darren Fletcher said in the previous bit, there's a calmness about them. There's an organisation about Scotland, and they know their jobs. And it's if Scotland could win today, it'll be massive for us.
Just a couple more on the midfield, Charlie. I thought what was quite interesting in that Darren Fletcher interview there was that he talked a lot about how he watches this midfield off the ball, and that impresses him as much as what they do on it.
Yeah, but I think, Chappers, that's normal. I think when you're playing at the top level, or these types of players, you always look at what they can do off the ball. On the ball is just, that's natural. But if you could see a player that's got the hunger and desire, like him again, McTominay, to go and work and get the ball back, that makes it, as a footballer, it makes you a different type of footballer, go to the next level. And the progression, I think, of McTominay in the last 2 years under Ollie, I think, has been phenomenal. And even in that Europa League the other week before the tournament started, that he was magnificent. And McGinn's produced some performances for Aston Villa when he come back from his injury, and Armstrong's playing well for Southampton. So it's obviously a tough position to be, and we've always been able to bless good midfielders, and it's always been a strong point of our team. So hopefully today, in these big games, international games, midfield is crucial, and if we can get on top there, then we'll have a good chance of winning the game.
And then the final one on this, Jack Wilshere was with us yesterday, and after the game he was talking about Calvin Phillips, and what he was talking about that had impressed him so much was bravery on the ball. And by that he meant, he said to me yesterday, he said, I get fed up of midfielders who are bothered about pass completion stats, knocking it sideways, knocking it back, and that's another tick and their percentage will go up. Get on the ball and do something with it, to paraphrase Jack. And Scotland, with their midfield, have players who will try to instigate something, try to be the architect of something rather than playing it safe.
Yeah, no, like McTominay's probably. I wouldn't allow McGinn will probably not go and play that sort of killer pass or anything like that. He's more of a runner into midfield, arriving late in the box. But Armstrong can see a pass. McTominay can see a pass over the top, or he'll risk the ball, like what Jack said. But at times yesterday with Phillips, he plucked one out of the air and fended off two people, and that's the confidence and the calmness that you get when you're playing at that top level. And these lads, let's say McTominay was playing the Europa League final not so long ago, McGinn's played in the Premier League, Armstrong's playing in the Premier League, so they've got plenty of experience in there. And it's about calm heads today at times, but also you've got to take risks, and hopefully today one of them can provide the opportunity for the winning match, the goal.
Let's hear from Andy Robertson, shall we, whose career has taken him from M&S to captain of Scotland.
My story is, I enjoy it. I love, like I said, I loved my time at Queen's Park. I loved, the 1 year I had at Dundee United and everything that happened after that. And, but I just didn't like the narrative that people said, it was a fairy tale and it will, never happen again in terms of, players. And I just didn't think that was the right message to send to, players that are maybe playing in the lower league of a younger age and still thriving to become a professional footballer, because it can happen. If you go around that hotel, there's a few good stories in there, to be fair, of how they made it, and, all different paths. For me, the way I look at it, there's never an easy way into football. Whether you stay at the same club, maybe like Cal McGregor that's came through the Celtic youths from, under 10s. I used to play with him at under 10s, and he's came the whole way through Celtic, which is, really, really tough to do. You've got somebody that's just starting, Nathan Patterson, that's doing the same at Rangers, and these, it's never easy to get to the professional level, and mine's been a wee bit different and a wee bit maybe more easy to tell the story. But I just didn't like the fact that people thought, okay, it's just a one-off, because I want people, especially in Scotland, young people to, boys and girls of young ages that are playing at the lower leagues to go, okay, well, I can get there, because me and other players, Lyndon Dykes was at Queen of the South not so long ago, and he's made it to a very good standard down in the Championship, and he'll only get better. So there's many stories like that, but it's down to hard work. It's not, I didn't just wake up one day, somebody clicked their fingers and said, this is your path to professional footballer. It was hard work, it was dedication, it was, tough times at times, but it's something that I always believed in myself. And you know, in a way I've always doubted myself, but that's always carried me through. You know, I've always tried to prove people wrong, but proved the person that doubts me the most is probably myself, and I've always tried to prove myself wrong. And you know, I think for once I'll say I've maybe not done too bad a job of it, but I'm always hungry for more. And you know, until I finish, I'll always try and keep proving myself wrong of playing at the highest level and captaining my country and everything else that goes along with it. And if I keep doing that, you know, the day I stop doubting myself is probably the day I'll hang up my boots and call it a day, because that's the success for me. It's not for everyone, but that's certainly the way I get the best out of myself. And you know, I'll continue to do that until, you know, like I said, until, you know, D-Day comes and I stop playing football forever.
Do you understand that philosophy, Charlie, about proving yourself wrong, proving your own doubts wrong each time you step onto a field?
Absolutely, and you know, Andy's journey has been phenomenal for you know, these young players, and you know, players that are playing at League 2 level in Scotland, that never give up. There's an opportunity there that if you dedicate yourself, you work hard, and an opportunity will arise for you. And you know, his career has just gone from strength to strength, and I tell a story about that we had an opportunity to try and sign him for 8 million before he went to Liverpool for Stoke, and the club turned it down. It was a blow, but nah, he's been brilliant, and you know, there'll be no prouder man than him today when he leads that team out the tunnel before kick-off.
And I mean, he's, you know, one of the things that drives him, he said there, is he wants to inspire any kid, any boy, any girl in any school in Scotland to feel that they can do what he has done. Absolutely,
and you know, today, you know, the schools, the kids in schools and that will be watching this game, and the teachers, I hope, are mentioning that Andy Robertson was sat here, you know, in your position, maybe been knocked back a few times, but kept going, had the determination, the hard work to then fulfil a dream of leading Scotland at a major competition is a wonderful journey for him. And it's important that us players, and you know, in Scotland especially, you try and be a role model, and he's definitely that for these young players coming through.
Let's hear from the Scotland manager, Steve Clarke. He's been pitchside with Jonathan Sutherland.
Well, Steve, a huge sense of anticipation. This nation has waited so long for this moment. Now it's finally here. How does it feel for you and the players?
It's brilliant. Great atmosphere in the stadium. Fantastic to have the Tartan Army back. Small numbers, but I'm sure they're going to make a hell of a noise.
Let's talk about the team that will line up here at Hampden this afternoon. No Kieran Tierney, that's obviously a huge blow. What's the situation there?
Well, Kieran picked up a little niggle through the week in training, so not ready for this one, hopefully ready for the next one.
In terms of the team selection, I know it's been a huge headache for you, many dilemmas. In terms of up front, you've gone for Lyndon Dykes, one up front, he's in ahead of Che Adams. What was your thinking along those lines?
I think looking back on the game we played against Czech Republic last year, Lyndon was a very, very influential player in the game. He gives us a good target up front. Him and Ryan were excellent when we played in Serbia, and they deserve the chance to play here again.
And in terms of the rest of the team, did it just about pick itself, or was it? It's just too noisy in here at Hampden.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. Listen, Steve, we'll let you go. The best of luck today.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Jonathan Sutherland putting the questions to Steve Clarke. Should we just deal with that last point first, Charlie, before we talk about Steve Clarke, the man, which is his decision to go with Dykes instead of Che Adams and Ryan Christie with him?
Yeah, he's shown a bit of loyalty. You know, the Christie and Dykes done well in Serbia for him. You know, Christie getting the goal, so there's a bit of loyalty there. And listen, whatever way he went, you know, there'll always be one or two people having a grumble about it. But no, I'm happy with that, and I'm excited. I'm you know, looking forward to this. This is a great opportunity for these lads, and you know, like I say, we're going to talk about Steve Clarke, because he's a calming influence in the group, and you can see that there's a calmness about the group, and you know, it's worked, and hopefully, you know, they can perform today.
But Dykes over Adams, partly because of how he did in that game against the Czech Republic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you look at what Dykes has done, he had a little bit of a sticky spell earlier in the season, the middle of the season for QPR, but come on to scoring a few goals late on, and he's done well for Scotland since he come into the setup. So I like how he can hold it up, but also he can run in behind as well. He's a strong runner, but and like you say, Souček and Kalas are big leaders in their team. So we're going to have to be strong at set plays, because the Czechs are, they scored 7 of the 13 goals in qualifying from set plays, so they're very strong at set pieces, and we have to be wary of that. So that'll be another thought for Steve as well. But he deserves the opportunity, Lyndon. I think he's always done well in a Scotland shirt.
Let's talk about Steve Clarke, the man. Obviously, Charlie, you were with him when he was assistant manager at Liverpool. Pat, he is a good friend of yours. Tell me about Steve Clarke, the man.
What you see is what you get. It's exactly what he is. He's honest, he's straight with you. No nonsense most of the time. He's got a good sense of humour, but he's wary of people, and particularly the media, and that's understandable, particularly if you have such a big job as he's got just now. At the moment, he's the kind of darling of the Scottish press, but that would change very quickly, and he's acutely aware of that. But he'll make all the own decisions, the hard decisions. Just to come in the back of what you were chatting about there, I mean, I would have chosen Adams before Dykes myself, pure because he's, I think, slightly better technically as a player. But I understand what, Stevie's made a few decisions that have kind of raised the odd eyebrow at. In general, his decisions have been actually superb, and I've understood them eventually. But in the end, you have to keep something in for the bench as well, don't you? And Clarkey will know that. He will have thought of every single eventuality, and I do go back to the people he's worked with over the years, and they're brilliant, phenomenal names in football that he's worked with. You don't get to work with him because they kind of like you and they think you're a nice guy.
How many times do you think, Pat,
because they're really good.
How many times do you think he's rotten his team out and scrunched it up, threw it in the bin, done it again, kept thinking, right, okay, what is the team I'm going to go with? And listen, he's come to this team, and it's it's not about a team now. It's not 11 players, it's 26 players, it's a group of players. All of a sudden Tierney gets injured, Cooper's in, probably wouldn't have started the game, so it's a great opportunity for these lads. And it's a lot of pressure being Scotland manager, because we're here, and the Scotland fans in Tottenham, they'll expect us to win.
I panic.
I quite like John McGinn's quote on Steve Clarke to BBC Sport this weekend. Pat, you could go first on this. You don't know how to take him. Don't know how to take him because he always looks angry, but he's not. He's just calm. That's just his resting face, looking angry all the time.
Yes. He never has a shave before the games or anything. He just looks that kind of gruff Scotsman look. Beneath it, because I do tell people, like, there's a kind of Scottish type of person that's like that. He was really like that. Andy Murray's a bit like that. Could be a bit, and they are. And it's they're not as hard to look.
We got a problem with the line at the moment, and Pat's cutting out a little while. The other for every now and then, so we'll try and sort out the line back to Pat and Vicky. We need to sort the line out back to Pat and Vicky because kick-off is 15 minutes away. Thought Steve Clarke's line as well in his first interview as Scotland manager, and you will recognise this, Charlie, from your time with him at Liverpool. He said, "I'm just a guy who likes his boots on, tracksuit on, little whistle round his neck, probably some coaching notes. That is what I'm most comfortable doing."
Yeah, that's him, and obviously I worked with him that year at Liverpool, and he just, like you say, wants to be on the grass, just loves coaching, but away from the game, when he was relaxed, he'll have a laugh and a joke and he'll have a good time, but he just loves coaching the game and coaching players and making them better. And when you've worked with Steve Clarke, you are definitely a better player when you leave him, because he's 110% every day and wants the best for everybody. And he done a wonderful job at Kilmarnock to get them into Europe, and getting the opportunity to take the national team. And he deserves this.
He's a teacher, is he? His coaching style is teaching. He improves you as an individual.
He improves you as an individual, as a person, but also as a player, and that's important. And listen, you don't work with the best. He's worked with the best. He's worked with Bobby Robson, Jose Mourinho. He's had a wonderful coaching career, but when he walks out here, this will be I would presume probably the top of the tree. Taking your national team as manager to a major tournament is phenomenal.
Let's find out what the fans are feeling like. Thousands are watching this at the fan park at Glasgow Green, and Aaron Hanna is there for us. Afternoon, Aaron. Or maybe Aaron isn't there. I could hear sound effects in the background, or I could hear the atmosphere in the background, but I can't actually hear.
He's having a good time.
Aaron, are you there? Where is she? Aaron? I tell you what, we'll try and hear from some of the fans very shortly on Glasgow Green. Charlie, where will Scotland worry about Czech Republic? We focus on a lot of the positives from a Scottish point of view.
Yeah,
where will they be concerned?
Souček, is a player that's done really well at West Ham, set plays and things like that. But I like the lad Masopust, who plays for Slavia Prague, who done really well in Europa League this season, and only just lost to Arsenal. So there's one or two Slavia Prague players in there. The big striker Schick up front, who was on loan at Leipzig last season, scoring 13 goals in 29 appearances. So it's a good Czech side, but not too much to worry about. It's a great game to start the competition for us.
Do you think as well, actually, that, I mean, you mentioned Masopust from Slavia Prague. Within this Czech squad, there are 5 players from Slavia Prague, and they went all season unbeaten. So that mentality that they have will make the Czechs dangerous.
No, they will be dangerous. Technically, they'll be good, but we got a good record against them. Last 3 results have been good. So it's listen, they've got good players, and that run of the Slavia Prague in UEFA Europa League, will have done the whole group and the country a lot of confidence, and they'll be coming in this confident. But we're at home. Scotland had a good run. I thought they played really well against Holland the other night. I had us winning it until the 88th minute, until Depay set up and stood up and scored that free kick. So it's one of them. We're in good form, and let's say we're here to enjoy it, but we have to come and show that we're a nation that want to be trying to get out of this group.
The format makes qualifying slightly easier for all involved, bearing in mind so many third place sides go through. Does that change your mentality going into an opening game?
Chappers,
do you think?
We win today, and we got what you'd expect us to have an opportunity to qualify. We just need to focus on today, and if we win today, then it sets us up nicely for Friday. The old enemy at Wembley, it doesn't get bigger. As a Scotland fan, as an ex-Scotland player, it does not get bigger than playing England at Wembley. Maybe for the English it's a little bit different, but for us that is the big game. And if we can take care of today by winning and go to England relaxed and being able to go and enjoy it, we never know what could happen.
Going back to the 3 at the back, and yesterday, and I'm aware that a few times I've sort of compared what England did yesterday to what Scotland might do this afternoon, but there are some similarities here. The selection yesterday of Kieran Trippier by Gareth Southgate was to help talk Tyrone Mings through the game, and in fact they both talked about that in their post-match interviews. So when you look at the change having to be made at the back for Scotland with no Kieran Tierney, there are going to be players, does Jack Hendry need to be talked through today by more experienced players around him?
Well, yeah, he's got Hanley beside him, he's got Cooper beside him, who played in the Premier League, but Jack Hendry is a good footballer in his own right. Yeah, he's been over in Belgium playing, but he's got experience of playing for Celtic, a big club. So no, I think he's just got to take this occasion and enjoy it. He's a good footballer. He likes to play, but I don't think you'll see Scotland want to play too much out from the back. It'll be more of getting up to dikes and getting people round them and causing problems that way.
So there will be more direct.
Yeah, Scotland will be more direct than what England will be. They'll be putting more pressure on the Czechs, and you'll see a lot of crosses, and set plays for us will be crucial, because, like you say, the big lads Hanley, Cooper, McTominay plus 6 foot plus, Dykes, You know, the big lads, and if we can, let's say, set plays are going to be crucial for us if we can score from that, you know, because we don't score many goals from open play.
It's quite interesting though on the you know, playing it out from the back, and we're still trying to get hold of Vicky and Pat, but I'm guessing the temperature in Glasgow is not as sweltering as it has been maybe in other games so far in these 2 o'clock kickoffs. I mean, it was sweltering in Baku, it was sweltering at Wembley. Sometimes you might need to adapt that and actually do play it out from the back just to keep hold of the ball and try and give everybody a break, because if you go long, Charlie, in sweltering conditions, you're going to be knackered, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I looked at, going back to talking about the England game yesterday, I seen John Stones having a go at Pickford.
Yeah, a massive ding-dong.
Yeah, because, you know, at times when you're launching up to Harry Kane, who's on his own, it's Sterling or Foden on the sides, you know, they're not the biggest players, so if it keeps coming back, then all of a sudden John Stones having to get up the pitch. John Stones is used to playing out from the back, and he wants the ball, and it doesn't matter what area he wants the ball. So, you know, that's different because of the heat yesterday, and it might have took a lot. He's seen John Stones after about 75-80 minutes with cramp, so it is going to be difficult. But here in Glasgow, you know, 14 degrees, it's not much. It's going to be it'll be a different type of game. Scotland will look to try and go a little bit longer than most.
Well, what's Steve Clarke like in the dressing room in the build-up to kick-off?
You wouldn't know it was a game. He'd be calm. He won't be, you know, motivationally speaking. He'll be saying, "Listen, lads, this is what you've done. You want all the hard work in Serbia, what you've done since you've come into the camp. This is what it's for your family, your friends. And when you walk out here, the Tartan Army, and just do yourself proud and enjoy it, because it's let's say it's been a long time for Scotland as a nation to be at a major competition, and yous are the group of players that have taken us there. So, you know, leave everything on that pitch and don't regret it."
I think we have Vicky and Pat back at Hampden. At least I hope we do. Otherwise, me and Charlie might be having to do commentary, despite the fact I haven't got pictures where I am. So goodness knows how we do that. But anyhow, as we haven't heard from you for the last 15 minutes, Vicky, just describe the scenes that are in front of you now, with the teams just a couple of minutes away from coming out.
I'll tell you what, chappers, the hairs are standing up on the back of my neck, because the atmosphere here from the Tartan Army is rising to the grey skies in Glasgow. We have a huge Scotland shirt, dark blue, a huge Czech Republic shirt in dark red, just being furled up. It's been stretched out by 20 or so volunteers on each side of the halfway line. The mascots are out in front of the tunnel, where in just a few moments' time, Scotland's players will walk out at their first major tournament in 23 years. 5 World Cups and 5 European Championships have come and gone since Scotland last graced a major tournament. But now the long wait is over. What a moment, Pat Nevin, this will be for these players, for the Tartan Army, the 12,000 lucky members of the Tartan Army inside Hampden Park. And what a moment it's going to be as well for Glasgow boy Andy Robertson. He was just 4 years old when Scotland competed at the World Cup in France back in 1998, and now he is about to lead out the national side in his hometown city.
Well, on top of that, Vicky, he played here for Queen's Park. You know, it's an extraordinary story. You almost couldn't write it. Yeah, but it's a phenomenal. We talk about it's gone a little bit quieter just for a moment, hasn't it? Because they've been bouncing these last 15 minutes that we've been getting our wee technical problems here. The place has been absolutely rocking. That could have been part of the problem. Everyone's just bouncing up and down, singing along with every tune that's come out. It's kind of calmed a little bit now. You're just getting beats from the DJ just now. But the place will absolutely erupt when the fans come out. And what a big one it is for Robertson. But every single player will have his own story and thinking, I'm finally here. The good thing is the vast majority of them, if not all of them, will think, I'm here and I deserve to be here. And that's big. That's a massive thing for Scotland. But to have your own fans here and to walk out and be waiting for those fans for such a long time as well, that is so wild. Roddy was telling us about Kazakhstan. You know, it's that long ago. But they'll make a lot of noise, and let's hope they're not let down, these fans here today.
Yeah, 19 months since fans have been allowed into Hampden Park, and 19 months since the DJ here, Pat was talking about the atmosphere, it's being led by the really loud music. I've been in here for 4 hours, and you can tell that the DJ as well was so desperate to be able to rouse the atmosphere. And here again, the noise lifts inside Hampden Park, and it's only the referees that have walked out on the pitch. We haven't even got Scotland yet, but we are about to get them. We can see the players in the tunnel, and listen to the noise inside Hampden Park. Andy Robertson of Liverpool leads out Scotland wearing that bright yellow armband. Right behind him, David Marshall, their hero in the playoff against Israel and then against Serbia in the penalty shootouts, raises his arms to the air and applauds. And now you can hear the boos for the Czech Republic, led out by their captain Vladimir Darida, such a big player for them. And we talk about the lack of experience for this Scotland side. Of course, all of these players' first major tournament. For the Czechs, 9 of their starting 11 have never been at a major tournament before. And of those 2 that have, their goalkeeper Thomas Václav didn't actually play at the Euros in 2016. So this is an inexperienced Czech Republic side as well. But now, ahead of kickoff, we will have the national anthem, starting with the Czech Republic. The national anthem of the Czech Republic applauded inside Hampden, and now the flower of Scotland. The first time the flower of Scotland has been heard at a major men's football tournament for 23 years. The first time fans have been able to sing it inside Hampden for 19 months. Pat Nevin alongside me. The 12,000 in here gave that everything.
Again, to use the Scottish phrase, they give it laldy. They really went for it. It's a, you know, they have waited a long time, but they know they need to get behind this team. I mean, Scotland are 4th favourites in the group. We have to get that right at the start. But we've come here with such belief and confidence with the run that Scotland have been on. But they know that Scotland have to be at their best for every part of every single game if they've got a chance to get through. And that includes this one. And that would arguably be this one more than any other one, because if you start off and don't get the 3 points here, it's going to be incredibly difficult to get through. So looking down now, the fans are behind them, the pitch is beautiful. We're hopeful. We're very hopeful. And by the way, someone said to me recently, Fleur of Scotland is a dirge. Didn't sound like it there, did it?
Absolutely not. Yes, as Pat says, England and Croatia still to come in Group D, but all the focus on this opener against Czech Republic. Scotland are no strangers to adversity over the years, and they have a big blow to deal with today in terms of the team news. There is no Kieran Tierney. He is out with a calf injury, the Arsenal man. Declan Gallagher also drops out of the squad. So Jack Hendry and Liam Cooper come in at the back. Ryan Christie is in for Shay Adams in attack. And Stuart Armstrong comes in for Callum McGregor in midfield. So no start for Billy Gilmore. That's 4 changes in all from the final friendly win over Luxembourg. The Czech Republic are unchanged from their final friendly victory over Albania. West Ham's Thomas Souček and Vladimir Sofal both start, as does the Bristol City skipper Thomas Callas. We are almost ready to get underway at Hampden Park. The 23rd of June, 1998 in St Etienne. That is the last time Scotland kicked a ball at a major tournament, as they lost 3-0 to Morocco to exit the World Cup. And every single member of Scotland's backroom staff is lined up, as the players are lined up as well. And this is how Scotland at Hampden are marking the fight against racism. They stand against racism. They will kneel in solidarity with England at Wembley. And the Czech Republic point to those UEFA respect badges on their shirts. So we are underway at Hampden. Scotland's first appearance in a major tournament for 23 years is underway. Scotland kicking from left to right in the dark blue strip. The Czech Republic all in white. We will take you through the two teams in a moment. Pat Nevin, how are the nerves, and how will the nerves be for those players? Do they disappear as soon as that first whistle goes? I'm not the best person to ask. I'm not one who gets nervous, but I know some players do. And some players need it as well. Noticing right away the way the system has been set up. Christie's right up there, high up the pitch, alongside Dykes. McGinn's trying to get to him as much as possibly can as well. They're not going to get it easy today, the Czech Republic. First ball was played up, and Dykes went hammering in to the centre half there, and I think it was Callas there, so he knows he's in a game already, and that physicality is going to be a big part of Scotland's game today. So the ball is all the way back with David Marshall in the Scotland goal, so we can take you through those lineups. Marshall, the playoff hero, in goal for Scotland. The back three of the Leeds captain, Liam Cooper, Hanley and Hendry. Ahead of them, the five of O'Donnell, Armstrong, McGinn, McTominay and Robertson, with Christie and Dykes up front, as the ball is swung into the left-hand side, into the Czech Republic penalty area. Wolf is all the way across the box and comes out to O'Donnell. Now swung back in, cleared away on the edge of the penalty area by the Czech Republic, but this is a bright start from Scotland as Andy Robertson picks up the ball once more and plays it back just inside the Scotland half. Here is the Southampton man now, Stuart Armstrong, lays the ball down the left-hand side to Ryan Christie. Won't be able to keep the ball in, and the German referee blows the whistle and gives an early throw to the Czech Republic midway inside their own half, 0-0. They would have expected to put under pressure right at the start, the Czech Republic, and they were. So left-hand side, as usual, even though Kieran Tierney isn't there, Robertson's going to get up that left flank as often as possible, and he's already put in one half-decent cross. And when it went to the far side there, who was the players coming on the end of it? O'Donnell, who's the right wing back. So a very positive start from Scotland. And Scotland have just won a free kick inside the Czech Republic half. The Czech Republic have Vatslik in goal, their regular number one. There was a question mark over whether he would be starting, but the goalkeeper that was really competing with him, Paulenka, has had to pull out of the squad injured. So it is Vatslik who keeps his place. The back four of West Ham, Sofal, Chalutska, Callas, the Bristol City captain, and Boril. Ahead of them, it's Kral, who's being linked with West Ham, alongside West Ham's Souček, and then Masopust, Darida and Yanktu, with Schick up front as the ball goes out of play. Won't be kept in by Scotland midway through the Czech Republic half, and the Czech Republic have a throw midway through their own half on the left-hand side. Win every moment there from O'Donnell, the right wing-back position. Had control of the ball, took his eye off it, just went out of play, but he had options ahead of him. Christie was asking for the ball, McGinn was asking for the ball, and that's what Scotland have to do, try and make some capital, maybe get a chance or two in this first 10 or 15 minutes. I thought there was a wee bit more. I know obviously they're going to try and put pressure on the Czechs, but I thought they'd be a little bit more reticent to throwing so many players forward. But no, Stevie Clark's got his last, pushing as far forward as they can. Here is O'Donnell, sends the ball long and cleared away by the Czech Republic from that Scotland throw, and will be picked up by Scott McTominay all the way back to the Leeds captain, Liam Cooper. Right decision for Steve Clarke to play McTominay in midfield, something he said before the tournament that he would be doing, given the injuries that Scotland have in that position.
Out of crossed his mind. Obviously, you've got Hendry, Cooper and Hanley. And it's the oldest one about. Well, you've got three there. So it should be okay. A lot of teams play with two centre-backs. He's got three there, and they're not poor players. They're good players. And they've improved as this competition has gone on. I tell you what, Robertson's a bit wound up there.
He is. He wanted the throw over on that far side, the Scotland skipper, but the German referee Daniel Siebert, who was taking charge of his first game at a senior major tournament, decides that the throw goes to Czech Republic, but they can't make anything of that, and the ball is all the way back with David Marshall. That was another selection question before this match for Steve Clarke. Marshall, of course, the hero in the playoffs. Again, Pat, right decision ahead of Craig Gordon, who's had such a fabulous season domestically with Hearts.
It was a tight one because Marshall's done well, obviously, in the build-up to it. But when Craig Gordon's put in goal, he's generally never let Scotland down. And he's been a long, long time in the set-up. And it's just a great thing to have two goalkeepers who you think, yeah, A or B, kind of doesn't really matter to some degree.
5 minutes played, 0-0. Throw to Scotland, which O'Donnell is looking to launch long into the penalty area. Just reaches the edge of the box, bounces over the head of John McGinn, but it's cleared straight back to John McGinn, and his shot is blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Czech Republic will try and clear away, but they can't. McGinn's won it back down by the byline, plays it behind, corner, brilliant from the Aston Villa man.
Yeah, he will never stop chasing. He chased everything down there. Very noticeable that Borrell, who's the kind of left full-back, he looks a bit edgy down there. He's not the tallest player. Scotland are trying to play on him just now, playing long balls up to that area. McGinn's closed him down there, got the ball back, eventually leads to a corner kick, and I'm not sure they're shaking yet, the Czechs, but they certainly have hardly get out of their own half.
So Robertson it is, the Scotland captain, to swing this corner into the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Czech Republic, helped on by their captain Darida on the edge of the D. Armstrong will pick it up again for Scotland and takes it down to that left corner flag position. Goalless here on BBC Radio 5 Live, won't be kept in eventually by Armstrong, and the ball goes out of play for a throw to the Czech Republic. But again, Pat, pegged deep in their own territory.
Well, we talk about high presses. That was on the goal line. Like that press was. Can't get any higher than that. You're about to play. So it just shows you the energy levels. We talked about it before the game. You've got the likes of McGinn, whose energy levels are fantastic. But he's got plenty of other players around.